And then they saw me in a bra, and that was it.
What's going on, Pearl Jam nerds? You are listening to Single Podcast Theory. I'm Brad Lyons.
And I'm Brad Blazek.
Welcome to episode 14. It's all about binaural.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about this one, dude.
Dude, totally. This is one of my favorites.
Because this was from 2000, right?
Yeah.
The year 2000.
Yeah.
So this starts the 2000 era records.
Yeah, this was kind of the like turning point, I guess.
Yeah, post Jack Irons,
Mm-hmm.
First Matt Cameron record.
Yeah, the new era.
Yeah, man, which we're still in, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to think about. Like, in my head, Matt hasn't been a part of the band as long as he really has been. Because he started in, 98?
Yeah.
So it's almost been 20 years for him.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
I know. Yeah, we're getting
old.
old.
Oh, man. I know, dude. Oh, no. But we will get to that in a minute. As always, we got to let you know where you can find us. You can find us on Instagram. Our handle is at Single Podcast Theory. Twitter is at Pearl Jam Podcast. You can search us on Facebook, YouTube, and of course you can email us. The email is singlepodcasttheory@gmail.com. So we want to get started with some emails.
Yeah, let's do it.
We've kind of got a lighter week this week as far as emails go. We still got like a few, and we're gonna kind of edit some of these because we got some really in-depth kick-ass emails, but we're not going to read all of it. So I'm going to start with my favorite email of this week. It's from our friend Clint Wells over at Metal Up Your Podcast. And the subject line of Clint's email reads, "Oh Lord, Yellow Ledbetter." He says, "Hey dudes, another good episode. The albums they reissued this year on vinyl were Binaural, Riot Act, and Avocado. No Code and Yield were reissued last year. I wanted to scream on the plane this morning. Ha ha." So I'm going to cut in a little piece from last week's episode that just for no other reason, just other than just to give you hell, to prove that I was right.
To make me look bad?
Exactly.
I don't know. I think I need to hear that because I think I was right.
And I'm asking for the remasters of Binaural. What else did they do? They just released 3 of them.
Yeah. Was it Yield?
No, it wasn't Yield.
No Code? It was No Code.
Nope. It was the back records. It was like, I think it might have been Binaural, Riot Act.
We're going to get...
If you are not hearing some cut in audio from last week, that means that I was wrong. But if I was right, then I'm taking full advantage of being the one that edits these episodes. All right, so then his real point was this. Oh my God. Yellow Ledbetter is probably the best example of a band getting away with straight up motherfucking artistic murder. This is all caps. There are no lyrics. How in the world did a song with unashamed mumbling become an anthem of a generation? Actually, looking back at the 90s, I think I just answered my own question. I know this is going to offend the sensibilities of many of your diehard listeners, but I'm as OG as it gets, and I'm here to say Yellow Ledbetter is a bunch of bullcrap. Great guitar playing from Mike, really inspired, beautiful stuff, powerful melodies from Eddie, and that's it. A pretty guitar and mumbling, a nice melody do not a great song make. Love and respect, Clint. So I'm just going to let you respond because that's exactly how I feel about the song. So go ahead, Brad.
I mean, a pretty guitar and mumbling a nice melody.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need.
That is not true.
It's simple. Some of the greatest songs are the simplest songs.
No one's making an argument for simple songs. I love simple songs.
Well, what else do you need between the guitar and...
This is a lazy song, especially in the context... in two things. So, yes, Mike's guitar playing is great, right? I think that's one of the reasons why people like the song, and that's awesome. But it is just a straight rip of Jimi Hendrix... Mainly Jimi Hendrix and a little bit of Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Right.
And then lyric-wise, did Kurt Cobain mumble? Yeah, but he's a completely different kind of songwriter and lyricist than Eddie Vedder. Eddie Vedder is way too fucking strong of a lyricist to just... I don't know. I think that's one of the things for me is knowing... Eddie's songs and lyrics and then hearing this, it's like, oh, this is cool and fun. I never thought it would turn into like one of their most popular songs.
Well, I don't think they did either. I think because it was a B-side. How was it originally released? Wasn't it a B-side on Jeremy?
Yes. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to go back and check, but
I think that they just because it sounds almost like a demo, you know. So yeah. I think they just recorded it really quick, threw it out there as a throwaway B-side, and then all the fans went crazy for it. So it's not really their fault that it's not a better song, but people just love it.
Yeah. Well, and I get it. It's mainly like a live kind of thing, something they like close sets with and stuff like that. But
it's become a monster over the year. I'll give you that.
Sure. All right, cool. Well, we won't spend too much time on that. We both know how we feel. But thanks, Clint, for writing in. Appreciate it, dude. All right, who you have next?
We got an email from Jason McIntyre. He said, "Hey guys, firstly, thanks for reading out my email last week. I had a little giggle to myself. However, I did forget to drop my top 10. I hope you don't mind. Here it is. So at number 10, he's got Lightning Bolt. 9 is Backspacer. 8 is Riot Act. 7 is Avocado. 6 is Binaural. 5 is Yield. 4 is Vitology. 3 is No Code. Number 2 is Versus. And 1, motherfucking 10.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Read the top 5 again.
Top 5 is Yield, Vitology, No Code, Versus, and 10.
Okay, cool.
Which his I'd have to look back at exactly what I wrote, but this is, I think, pretty close to mine.
Yeah, it sounds pretty close to yours.
He says, I found it interesting that without realizing it, I have listed all the 90s albums in my top half and 2000 onwards in the lower half, with Binaural getting the pivot release in May of 2000. I guess it's just nostalgia because some of my favorite songs are Just Breathe, Gone, and Sirens. So, I mean, I agree with him. That's what, like I said, I'm pretty sure my list is very similar to this, and
yeah,
especially because the first 5 and then the back 5, they are kind of what's the word for it? Chronological,
right?
So
sure. Yeah, I do think that, like we've talked about before, there is something about when you kind of jump on the train with the band as far as their timeline and what you kind of tend to create as your top 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there were people that had, that came to Pearl Jam a little bit later and had stuff like Self-Titled pretty high up on their list, if not number 1. But that makes sense if you came on with that band, or with this band around that time,
Yeah.
That's your first record,
Yeah, I think, I've always had this theory that the first album you hear from a band is probably your favorite album. The one that gets you into them is going to be your favorite album. So,
right, except for me.
Well, yeah. I don't.
Oh God! Why did I just laugh like that? God, that was terrible.
So he goes on to say this is kind of fun. He says, "So why go and put 10 at number 1? Well, once upon a time it was Verses, but I would always find myself come alive when listening to 10. Although Jeremy is dark and black, the album has some deep and beautiful moments that release me. I will often sit on my porch, look into the garden, and let myself be captured, like the beaches surrendering to the even flow of the oceans. Phew."
Damn, dude.
Yeah, he got them all in there.
He got them in there, man.
Peace and love, Jace. So,
thanks, Jason.
thank you, Jason. That was Jason McIntyre.
Oh, specify our Jasons.
Yeah,
from Australia.
Yeah. He's
from Australia, correct?
He said he's from an hour north of Sydney, and he was at the same 2009 show that the other Jason from Australia went to.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
So, yeah.
All right, cool. We've got our good friend Janan. Let's see here. Well, here we go. We've kind of developed a lot of nicknames already. we're like, are we even at 2 months old yet?
I was thinking about that the other day. I guess, well, if this is 14...
Yeah, but we've had
a couple bonus.
We've had a couple bonus, and our first week was 3 episodes.
Yeah. So no, it hasn't been. It hasn't been 2 months.
No, it has. It's just been just over 2 months.
Okay.
Right? Something like that. I'm bad at math.
September 4th.
Yeah, when did we start? September 4th?
Yeah, September 4th. So this is...
Yeah, we're just at 2 months. Just over 2 months. Yeah, cool. That's crazy, man.
I know.
In a good way, it feels like a lot longer. All right, so she says, "Hi, Blazer and the Lion," or should I call you Bromance Brads?
Oh,
you can call us whatever you want. Well, maybe not whatever you want, but yeah, those are all fine. Let's see here. Both Chris Cornell and Hall of Fame episodes were great. I want to say thank you again for the Chris Cornell episode, because I was one of your listeners who wanted an episode on him. Chris had a very special place in my heart. When I was 18, I was discovering rock music, and if Audioslave did not exist, I may not have known Soundgarden, Temple of the Dog, or Pearl Jam at all. I don't want to degrade Audioslave. Wait. God, this font is so small. I don't want to degrade Audioslave into Chris Cornell, because I know that Tom Morello is a hell of a guitarist, and their political stance was more similar to Rage Against the Machine side of the band. But what I loved about Audioslave was Chris Cornell's amazing voice and his beautiful and sometimes angry lyrics. Chris became my hero only because he wrote Show Me How to Live. He described everything that I was feeling deep down, and he was my voice screaming what I couldn't tell people around me. He made me realize that I was the highway instead of someone's wheels. His song and voice were with me when I was growing up. That's why his effect on me is beyond words, just like his absence is. I couldn't get used to the fact that he's gone, even after 5.5 months. But I know my feelings are nothing compared to what Patrick went through. She's talking about Patrick Bogle, our friend Bagel. What he wrote last week was so touching, yet he was so brave to share that with us. After listening to the podcast, I checked Patrick's Twitter account and found his tweet about his fundraiser. That is one of the most meaningful things I've seen in my life. He was brave enough to choose helping other kids, even though he had a great sorrow. I'm so glad that I know Patrick thanks to you guys. Because you care about listeners' emails and spare time to read them all, we can be aware of kind people, hear their beautiful stories, and know that there is still goodness in this world in the midst of evil and horror and insanity. I also thank you because you sincerely talked about your inner fears and struggles. It means a lot, and you should know that if you run for presidency, I will vote for you. I forgot we even said that.
Yeah, I know. Co-presidents.
Let's see. One more thing. Okay, here's some Yellow Ledbetter feedback. One more thing.
Janan.
I'm going to try and change your mind about Yellow Ledbetter, Brad Lyons. First of all, this song's Imagine in Cornice version is one of the reasons I became a Pearl Jam fan. And I know its lyrics change every time, and most of the time unrecognizable. But in Imagine in Cornice, that version, Eddie clearly says something about an unending war, that he wants it to end, but he sees it on the news every morning. I remember reading that this song was written during the first Gulf War. I'm not sure if it's true, but I like thinking that it's an anti-war song who tells the story of a man who loses his brother in a war. And if I see Pearl Jam live one day and they don't play Yellow Ledbetter, I will cry my eyes out. I love it so much. Well, that's cool. I mean, I'll just stop for a second and say, I don't know. It's the same as like people writing in their top 10 records or their rankings records and stuff. It's just like, I disagree about the song, but I think it's amazing that it means so much to people. You know what I mean? There's that weird kind of flip side of it too. It's like, I don't understand it. I don't feel that way about that song, but I'm definitely not gonna disparage anyone for feeling that way about a song. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, thank you.
Except for you.
Oh, great. Okay.
JK, LOL. Let's see here. By the way, you were wondering if Fatal was played live. Last week, I was listening to its live version on Apple Music from Worcester from October 15th, 2013. Maybe you want to listen. It's very good. I'm definitely going to check that out. I've got it on my iPod. Maybe I just haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know. Is that, did I talk about that show?
I don't know.
That sounds familiar.
Worcester.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all for now. Take care, you guys. Hoping to hear more surprise B&B experience episodes. Best Janan. That's it.
Thank you, Janan.
Thanks, Janan. What you got next?
I have got an email from Kate Cotton.
Who?
Kate.
Who's Kate? Just kidding. What's up, Kate?
She says, "Hey guys, Blazy was killing it this week. When are you going to announce your stand-up tour?" I will not be doing stand-up anytime soon. She says...
Is she saying that I'm not funny? Is that what she's saying?
She's just saying that I am funny.
Okay.
I guess.
All right. That's cool.
I don't think I'm very funny.
I'm gonna have to start calling her Katie.
Oh God.
Just kidding. We're not there yet.
You know what? She thinks you're funny. She thinks that I wasn't funny until this past episode.
Oh, is that what it is? Thanks for making me... Dude, you're really good at making me feel better about myself. I like that. That's why we're a team.
Yeah, exactly. She said, "I haven't watched the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction since it aired. I rewatched it when I got home today. Eddie in a suit? Swoon." She says, "I don't really have much else to say this week, at least for now, mostly because I was so blown away by Patrick's email. It was so beautiful and had me at a complete loss for words. I thought about it all afternoon. I just want him to know that his words had a truly profound effect on someone today. Take care, Kate." So I think
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think I know we did. We felt the same way. So
yeah, it's hard to really know what to say. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I know.
But that's the thing too, man. Just in general, it's like, I don't know, to think about people that have kind of met each other, and this has nothing to do with us. I'm just saying, like the show, like people that have met each other and through this show and even this short amount of time, and the things that people are willing to share with everyone else that's a listener to the show, and how I don't know, just the responses to those types of things have been really kind of heartening for me just as a human being. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, it's just cool to see people sharing on that kind of a level and getting just support back from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, Brad. I don't know what it all means.
I mean, you don't want to say the wrong thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to sound trite, I guess.
Which, I don't know how you don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what
so,
I mean?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Thank you guys all for just in general. I think all of you guys. I mean, we have to like edit some of these emails because, and I feel bad. We've said it before. We're going to try and keep it cut down to stuff that's really kind of pertinent to the shows, and then we can kind of keep off mic conversations going through these emails. So
right.
the editing isn't that we don't want these great emails. It's just we're just trying to, cut to the meat of it during the show. So keep them coming. Speaking of, I've got a email that I had to really edit. I hope I did a good job of it because this is a new listener, Johnny S. And he even titled the subject line of this email is long ass reader feedback email.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh yeah,
I was like,
dig in.
I can't wait to read this one. So let's see here. So what's awesome about this email is that, and then you'll understand why I kind of went through and kind of edited it for the air, is that he basically went through, I mean, he skipped a couple, but he basically went through and wrote something about every episode that we've done so far, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Had
some really good kind of insight in there. So I will attempt to get started here. It says, Dear Brads, I've really been enjoying the podcast. This is the best resource for Pearl Jam fans, and I love how you are fostering so much communication and support to the PJ community. I just got caught up on your podcast with episode 13, and I've been waiting until I was caught up to email you guys. I have notes on your episodes. I don't expect you to read them all, and I also have a section at the bottom that is non-PJ related. He's a very organized dude, right. This guy. This is awesome. Yeah. All right, so episode 1, he said, yes, I listened to it. For being new friends. Oh, I was like, what do you mean? Because I said a lot of people might not listen to that introduction episode.
Oh, okay.
For being new friends, you two have great chemistry. Yes, we do. You both have voices that aren't annoying, which is an essential component for a good podcast. Well, that's good to hear.
I think out of 2.5 months, that's probably my favorite.
I know.
Critic.
God, I hate hearing my voice so much, and I have to edit it too. So like, you do the episode and you're done. Yeah. You know what I mean? Until I send it to you and you get to listen to it, I have to listen to my voice over and over again. It's pretty miserable.
Yeah.
Let's see here. He wrote about the Lightning Bolt episode. He said, I also love Yellow Moon, and I really loved the blog post you read about this song, and I was glad to hear that track get some love on the podcast. So, again, thanks, Shannon, for sharing that blog post. Okay, he said, episode 6, loved the Stone episode, and just had to ask, how can you not like Mankind? I love that song. I was lucky enough to see them play it in 2000. Thanks for explaining how he plays his part from You Are. I really love that track. I enjoyed all the technical talk, so keep it up. It's interesting. I'm just not... we were actually talking about this when we were going through the emails before we started recording. I think the song I'm cool with. I'm not saying I skip it or anything, but I always find myself thinking, man, if Eddie had sang this song, it would have been, to me, like 20 times better. Because I can hear him singing the song, you know what I mean? I just think that nasally Stone voice just doesn't... When you're coming off of a bunch of Eddie...
It's a Pearl Jam song. And
right.
Stone is in Pearl Jam.
And he's not the singer.
And
there's a reason for it. There's a reason he's not the singer.
I mean...
Go on. Come on.
It's a
Let
good
it out,
song,
bud.
and it's a good representation of Stone as a singer-songwriter, and I like it.
Well, there is no argument. He is a great songwriter.
Yeah.
I mean, look at 10. Track after track after track on that record is, it was kind of started by him at least.
I just think
I don't know. For me, it's just his voice. That's it. That's as simple as I can make it. I just don't like his voice.
I mean, but it's
I love him.
It's something different, and it's fun to let someone else sing a song every once in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it for what it is. And I think that out of the 150 songs or whatever that the band has, there's like 4 that don't have Eddie singing. And that doesn't bother me at all.
Right. Okay. I dig it, man. I just don't like it.
Okay. But the lyrics, like,
drinking all your Ovaltine.
Yeah, they're goofy lyrics. So it needs to be Stone singing those, because I wouldn't believe Eddie if he was singing those. I'd be like, why is he singing these crazy words?
Well, that's interesting, because we're gonna get into there's, if I remember correctly, there's a few songs on this record that on Binaural that he didn't write the lyrics for.
Right.
So
yeah.
We'll talk about some of that. Let's see. He also talked about episode 8. Loved hearing you, Blazy, recount his concert experience. He said, I think this is one of the best things about being a Pearl Jam fan and having seen them live. Everyone has a story about their show. Everyone gets different songs, and it's great comparing which songs you've seen. I totally agree. This is something you and I have talked about before, Brad, that, like, you know, a lot of bands kind of have a basic, like, set list for that tour, and they might have a couple, a couple spots in the set list where they'll kind of like rotate songs in and out.
Yeah.
But Pearl Jam literally, you know, Eddie writes a set list for that place or that city every time they go, because he keeps all the old set lists so he can look at them and say, okay, we've played this song before, we opened with this one last time, so let's open with this one this time. I think a band that's been around for that long and is still on top of their game enough to have control over a catalog that big, you know, because I mean, a lot of bands have to, like, they'll put together a set list and they'll have to, like, relearn songs of theirs,
right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure they have to brush up on some stuff maybe every once in a while, but he just kind of comes up with set lists, and it doesn't matter what the song is, they're seemingly ready to play it. So
yeah.
I think that's pretty special. Let's see here. He says something about openers. Where was that? You both mentioned which songs you'd like them to open with, and I was surprised Of the Girl wasn't on your list. I love when they open with a slow burn song, and this one is high on my list of favorite openers. I agree that I wasn't a big fan of Pendulum until I saw them open with it at one of their 2013 shows. Now I love that song. They also played Yellow Moon at that show, and it was really beautiful. That's cool. Really enjoyed the Unplugged episode. Totally agree that it would have been awesome if Pearl Jam had been given a full Unplugged set like Nirvana or Alice in Chains, but at that time I think they were in their no media phase and probably would have turned it down. Perhaps 1992 was the only time that they could have, that they would have been willing to do it. I think that's probably pretty spot on.
Until recently.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, that was right around the time where they start cutting everything off.
Right. Oh God, I just got a phone call. I hate myself.
Life is so hard.
I know, dude. Let's see. All right, so sorry I've written you a fucking Pearl Jam essay. It's okay, man.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
I love it.
I don't expect you to read all or any of this in the podcast. I just want to let you to know that I love what you're doing and share some of my enthusiasm. Well, thank you, man. The intro mix is really awesome and pumps me up for Pearl Jam nerdiness when I'm driving to goddamn work. Which brings me to my last bit of feedback. I like the What's Going On Pearl Jam nerds opening line, but you need a cool closing line too. A sign-off. Maybe an appropriate Pearl Jam lyric. What do you think? Well, I think that we've actually talked about this before.
Yeah, we did before the show even started. I had come up with some ideas, and I didn't think they were quite right. I wanted to sound, I don't know. I wanted to sound right, and I just haven't been able to figure out something yet. Yeah. So.
Oh, I'm gonna answer one of his questions actually that was directed to me. Oh, your dogs. Whoa, is your alarm ready to go off too?
No, I got that. I turned that off.
The 60s robot attack. That's what it sounds like over the headphones. He said, I thought it was funny when you said, talking to me, that you don't put on Zeppelin 4 first. I was wondering what Zeppelin you do put on first. And my answer is Zeppelin 1, for sure. I love that record.
Yeah.
It's from, I think that came out in 68. It's super, I mean, all their stuff is pretty raw, but it's just that young band, in that room together, just it's fucking going for it.
It's crazy, Zeppelin 1. I mean, when you realize that they're, a brand new band and that's the songs they were doing, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, for sure. It's weird. It's like there's like pop rock in there, there's like Good Times, Bad Times. There's just kind of runs the gamut, I feel like, on that record. And that's another one of those bands where there's, I don't love Presence. I don't love some, like, as a whole, some of their later records as much. Yeah. But it's kind of hard to put on a Zeppelin record, and there's not really a turd, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something to find in each of their records, just kind of like Pearl Jam. So that's probably why they're two of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
And then I won't answer this on air, but he did ask about, to both of us, Twin Peaks question, and I love David Lynch. So when I sit down and respond to you, John, I'll give you my answer on that. But dude, thanks so much for jumping on board with us and sending us this email. We can't wait to hear from you in the future. Yeah, man. Thanks, dude. John S.
Thank you, John.
Do you have one more?
Long ass email. I do. Michael Lundy wrote into us again.
Lundy.
Yeah. Hi, Brads. I have thoughts on Low Light as the opener of Let's Play 2. I think we talked about this in the Let's Play 2 episode. But he says, it sounds like some people are surprised by that song choice. The movie is casting a wide net, probably reaching people who have never been to a live Pearl Jam show. Low Light makes for a classic opener, not specifically that song, but the choice of that song, which adds to the experience for everyone, whether they have or haven't been to a live show. So I think, I'm kind of learning that the two songs that I want to hear as openers, like people don't want to hear just those two songs. I'm kind of
sure.
I mean? I want to hear Oceans and I want to hear Long Road and and Release, I guess. That's it. But he's talking about Low Light, and what we were just talking about
of the girl.
Yeah. I mean, those I like those songs. They'd be cool, but I don't know. For me personally,
well, I do agree. Just. I don't know. Release, Long Road. What else did you say? Oceans?
Oceans, yeah.
But even more so, those first two songs, Release and Long Road, for a slow burn opener, those are two songs that really start very, very small and get really, really kind of big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I love Oceans as an opener. I think Of the Girls, I love that song, period. So if they were to play that at a show I was at, I would flip out anyway. But those are all, I think for me, I have to add Pendulum to the list. I mean, it starts with just that creepy keys stuff going on with Boom.
Yeah.
Those are just kind of like the perfect kind of archetype for a song for that kind of an opener, you know? Whereas some of the other ones, like Lowlight or whatever, they kind of start halfway there, if that makes any sense, as compared to like one of those other songs we're talking about. So, yeah, for me, it's not that it's not a good opener. It's just, on one hand, it's like, well, there's better openers. But again, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
kind of like you were saying.
Right.
Like, you know, just because they can't open every set with the same 2 or 3 songs that one of us loves, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah. So...
Yeah, I'm not bummed out if I hear those songs, like the other songs. But I'm way more hyped up if I hear Release or Long Road. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Cool.
He goes on. Also, I like Bagel's insight on Vitology, which you read off of the porch, the message board.
Yeah.
Like most of us, I prefer to listen to albums front to back, and I never skipped the non-songs on Vitology. They are part of the overall artistic theme of the album, and had they been left off or switched for more traditional rock songs, Vitology wouldn't have been as influential and memorable. Bagel's interpretation and explanation tied it all together in ways I had never thought about. I totally agree with him about Bagel's interpretation of it as like a concept album. And I think he's right, or he's onto something. But at the same time, I still skip the non-songs, you know?
Sure.
But finally, I want to send love and peace to Bagel. As he shared about the loss of his son Ian, I had one line repeating in my head. We were but stones. Your life made us stars.
Yeah, we're about to get to that one too. See, it's all working out perfect for a binaural episode.
Yeah, it's a good week to be doing this.
Yeah, man.
So, thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Lundy. And thanks again to Patrick, man.
Yeah.
All right, so are we ready to do this?
Well,
do we have anything else?
We had we have
some Facebook?
No, we just had a real quick YouTube comment that really made me laugh. We were talking about the 80s fashion, and I mentioned those hypercolor shirts.
Yeah. And
somebody, I don't know how to pronounce this. Guy Coco Jew 76.
Okay.
He said, this podcast makes my hypercolor pants change colors.
Oh, dude, I didn't see that one. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Hell
I saw
yeah,
that
man.
And I was dying, so.
That's so good. Dude, I forgot about our fashion rant.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I really we get these emails sometimes and there's like a reference and I'm like, what are they talking about? Because I forget sometimes some of the stuff, the tangents we go off on.
And you were I was asking about parachute pants.
Right.
And I said, are those the ones with the zippers in them?
They have zippers?
Well, you were like, no. Parachute pants are the MC Hammer pants.
Right.
And I did some checking up on that, and that's incorrect, sir.
Oh, is it?
Parachute pants are the ones with all the zippers in them.
Okay.
But they're commonly mistaken for the MC Hammer pants.
Okay. All right. Man, you're dropping some knowledge bombs on me. I dig it. It's cool. I'm totally down with admitting when I was wrong.
Yeah.
Unlike some people I know. It's cool though. I'm not I don't really think about it much. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's cool, but
I do. I've been waiting since last week to just sucker punch you with that.
I can tell. I didn't even know that was coming. We'll talk about it when we're done recording.
Yeah. All
right. Anything else?
No. I think we're ready to go with Binaural.
Dude!
Great fucking album.
Yeah, so this came out in May, was it May 16th, 2000?
Yeah.
I think that's the date.
It's a birthday present for me.
Oh, that's right.
Right, well, May 14th, so.
You're 2 days off, yeah. That's awesome. They did it all for the most part, they did it all at Stone's studio in Seattle. This is a cool one for me too because Tchad Blake produced this one, and he's one of my favorite producers and mixing engineers. So there's just another layer of listening to this record for me personally that I really love. Other than I do really love this record. Like I think it's in my top 5. I think it's probably around number 4 or 5 actually.
Yeah.
In my ranking, but
What was the first? It was the first time they recorded without Brendan O'Brien, right?
Since 10, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny to listen to it too, because it kind of gives you an idea on how much of the sound of the band, as far as records go, came from Brendan and came from the band. Because there's, and this is, I won't get too nerdy about it, but there's definitely songs on this record where, for example, the drum sounds, even though this is Matt Cameron's first record, like if someone had, if this record hadn't come out yet or whatever, and someone had played me a couple of these tracks and said, who's playing drums? I would have said Jack Irons. Because of the sound of, especially like the hi-hats, super kind of pumping, like compressed hi-hats. But it's also interesting to go back and listen to Matt settle in with the band for an actual record. Because you can hear differences in how he plays on that record if you fast forward, say, to Lightning Bolt or something. It's all still very Matt, but when you think of it in that context, it kind of seems like they were, and I don't think it's a bad thing, but they were kind of literally trying to find the groove with each other in the studio, which I think is pretty cool.
Well, and they recorded kind of like they did with Yield, where they just kind of did their parts separately and brought them in.
The songwriting parts?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of varied songwriting on this. There's a lot more lyric writing from the other band members than there typically is. And we'll kind of get into that as far as, I guess, Eddie was experiencing some sort of writer's block on this record. So, although I love some of the lyrics on this record too, though. I think maybe, I don't know at what point he found his way out, because I know a lot of it kind of hinged on him picking up the ukulele and writing Soon Forget. But obviously we don't know where in that process that happened. So you want to just get straight into the first song?
Sure.
Break or Fall. This is another one of those album openers that when I got this record and popped it in, I was super fucking psyched, man.
Yeah, that little intro thing is pretty cool.
Yeah. The intro of the song.
Yeah, it's just kind of like like a bomb going off. You know what I mean? There's just a little bit of a there's just like a bang,
Yeah.
That just kind of rings out until the drums come in.
Well, and this is one of those songs too where this is the words and music were written by Eddie, and this is one that he had written the music and I believe the melody when they came in, but this is one of the songs that he had a hard time getting lyrics for, and I'm assuming maybe as the legend goes, after he wrote Soon Forget and started kind of coming out of his writer's block, he must have been able to go back to songs like this, and I think Insignificance was another one of them that he had brought into the band without any lyrics to it and kind of fleshed it out. So I don't know, man. I just think I mean it's another one of those songs where there's just nothing like specific as far as what the narrative is. It's all pretty you can kind of make it what you want it,
Yeah.
But I just like the imagery of the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, it's like she lost the invitation to the party on Earth. That
I love that line.
That always stuck out to me for some reason, and it kind of struck me in a way of like, at the time, when this came out, I was, I wasn't a kid anymore. I wasn't like in my 20s anymore. And it was kind of like I felt like what he was saying in that line was that, like, kind of like, you can do anything here, you know what I mean, in this world. And I don't know, just felt like God, now I just kind of lost my train of thought. But
well, it's interesting because to me it just sounds like he's just describing this kind of, whether it's literally a child or a grown woman or whatever, like this kind of petulant child personality. Like, it's like she lost the invitation to the party on Earth, and she's standing outside hating everyone here. She's her own disease, crying to her doll, you know?
Yeah, it's just like I felt like he was saying, like, dude, get out there and go have fun. Like, you can get out there and do things and not have to just, you don't need an invitation to get out there and go do stuff and not just sit here by yourself and hate everyone. You know what I mean?
Well, and it also seems like someone coming up to, like, one of those, I hate using these kind of trite, overused cliches, but just kind of a crossroads kind of moment.
Right.
With that first verse, there's a girl on the ledge who's got nowhere to turn. And then that line, the other line that always stuck out to me on this song was, because all the love that she had was just wood that she burned, and now her life is on fire. And he specifically says, like, she can blame the world or pray till dawn. I don't know. It just sounds like that. There's no telling what it is because it's Eddie. I mean,
right.
Like, Go is also a song about his truck.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so, like, there's no telling.
Yeah.
And we're probably assigning way too much meaning to the song.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's cool. I think the imagery matches the music. Like, I love that guitar line that, like, that leads into the verses and stuff.
Yeah.
There's some cool guitar work on it, and again, the sound of this record was automatically different. Now, this is one of the songs, I believe that. So this is something we can go ahead and kind of cover this because it will probably come up throughout the track by track. But so Tchad Blake produced it. He was gonna mix it, but he ended up mixing like half the record because the way he mixes and his kind of recording techniques, they loved for like the more vibey, kind of slower type songs, but the more kind of aggressive songs, they just felt like weren't cutting it as far as the mix goes. So they did pass those off to Brendan O'Brien to remix those. So I'm assuming that this would be one of those that Brendan did a remix of, which is interesting because it does show you how much Chad's production played into the sound of the record, because the guitars sound completely different than if Brendan had tracked and mixed these songs. You can really tell how much vibe that Tchad kind of injected into this record, and letting them explore things. And that's the other thing about Tchad is that they named this record Binaural because of the technique that he uses a lot to record, which is called binaural recording. And he uses, to put it really simply, it's to try and mimic kind of like a 3D representation of how the human ear actually hears. So, to try and explain that. So, when you hear, you're hearing behind you, you're hearing in front of you, you're hearing to the side, and every kind of like space on the spectrum, right, from both of your ears. So he actually takes these binaural recording heads, which are basically like mannequin heads. They represent a human head from down to about just under the shoulders. And there are these mics that are almost, you would think of them almost like earbuds, but they're mics, and you put them in the ear of the mannequin head. And someone like him is going to do like he's gonna, if they're recording drums, right? Like he loves using this on overheads for drums. So typically you would have one. You could have a lot of mics, but typically you either do just one like mono overhead above the drum kit, or you have a stereo pair that's over the top of the drum kit. But one of the things that's different about the way he does it is that typically these mics are directional, right? So where you're pointing them is where they're going to pick up the most sound. Whereas these binaural heads, it is more of a three-dimensional thing where they're picking up more of a stereo full room pattern. So it's behind where the head is. So he will actually decide where to put that mannequin head by walking around the room while the drummer is playing and saying, oh, where my head is right here, I like the way these drums sound in this room. And then they will take that mannequin head and place it where his actual head was. And that's how they record the drums or the guitar amp or the acoustic guitar or whatever. Does that make sense? Did I do a terrible job of explaining that?
No, I think I get it.
He does a lot of stuff where he'll just be like, fuck it, let's take the guitar amp and stick it in a metal trash can and throw a mic down there and then another mic at the other side of the room and record both of them and just kind of see how that sounds or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's really kind of has fun and experimental with the type of tones that you can get from stuff.
Well, and this, I mean, you could tell there's something different about this. The whole, like every song on here does sound kind of like garage rock, but not exact. Like that's not the best example to use. You know,
I know what you mean. Yeah,
but it
sounds kind of lo-fi.
Yeah, yeah. And super comfortable, like they all sound super comfortable with themselves, you know.
Sure.
So I could see why this would sound that way,
right?
With a guy like that. But I think too, going back to wanting the album to rock a little more, I think I read that Brendan O'Brien, like worked with the sequencing of the tracks.
Right.
Which that would make sense too, because the first three songs just are straight up rock songs.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. Let's move on to God's Dice. This is a Jeff song.
Right.
If I'm getting this correctly, he wrote the lyrics and the music. And this sounds like if someone had just played this or actually I think the first time when I got this record, I thought maybe this was a Matt tune. It sounds like it could have been a Matt tune.
Yeah.
But it also makes sense that because both Matt and Jeff like to write in kind of odd time signatures, and phrasing and stuff like that. So, but I love this song.
I do too. It's got such a cool, like, it starts out with that little snare drum roll, you know, and it just doesn't. The rest of the song, it never lets up. It's got that like chugging rhythm in between the choruses that it just, I don't know. I think I love this song live, you know.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Because it's just
great
such
live song.
Yeah, it's such an up tempo rocker, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do like the one part where it does take a breather. And the next song does this as well, Evacuation, but there's this kind of cool down bridge. And it's not very long. It's probably like 8 to 16 bars long, but it's just enough of this cool little vibey breather to kick right back into the rest of the song.
Yeah.
I love that part. They're really great. We'll continue to say this, I'm sure, as we talk about songwriting, doing the rest of the records. But one of the things I love about Pearl Jam is their bridges, or whether they have vocals or they're just instrumentals, are so fucking cool.
Yeah, well, they're great at slowing down a song in the bridge, and the bridge slowly builds back up and then hits you hard when it comes back. you know? And it's like, you know, a song like Dissident that I don't really care for.
Oh, God, dude.
I love the bridge, though. Like, yes,
Yeah.
like, even that song, a song that I don't really like, they fucking suck me right back in with that bridge.
Is it too Southern Rocky for you?
Yeah. Like, I can't stand that.
I fucking hate it. Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. I love that
Just
song,
that whining guitar that opens the song.
Okay, well, how about this? If that guitar part wasn't in the song, would you like the song? Or is it just
You know
all of
what?
it?
I've never thought about that, but I'm trying to like hear it in my head without that. Just the
If it was just the power
you know
chord
what?
kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, even the verses don't have that in it.
No,
It's
I
more
love
just
the
kind of like a
verses.
jangly kind
Stone's
of
guitar part on
Yeah.
that verse is fucking killer.
Man, you might be onto something. Can you like make me an edit of that song?
I'll try.
That would be fucking awesome.
That would be pretty cool, actually.
But yeah, you know what? I've never thought because I just skip right over as soon as I hear that.
Because the drums are so good on that song.
Yeah.
Stone's riffs are so good on that song.
Oh,
Eddie's
but
lyrics and vocals.
Yeah, when he starts singing after the bridge and he really ramps it up with his voice, that shit's powerful.
Yeah, man.
But-
we're on the wrong record.
All right,
Okay.
yeah, what are we talking about?
We were
Vitology?
talking about yeah, exactly. Resignate. I like everything. I love this song.
Yeah.
I definitely don't skip anything at the beginning of this record. I don't think there's really anything I skip, period, on this record, but just depends on
maybe
my
when
mood.
we get to the end, but
Toward the end, yeah, maybe.
yeah.
So let's get into Evacuation,
Yes.
which is a Matt Cameron song.
Yeah.
Musically. Why? What were you gonna say?
I like this song. I've always liked it, but it kind of got ruined for me. Whenever I hear it now, I think of a time when I told my mom I was sick or not feeling good or something, like my stomach was bothering me. And she said, "Did you evacuate yet?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Evacuate?" And she's like, "Move your bowels."
Do you have an AM BM?
So now every time I hear, and he says evacuation 50 damn times in the song. That's what I think about taking a dump.
And
So, unfortunately,
it's the way he sings Evacuation, that melody, he could be having some AM BM problems. Because let's face the fact, if you don't get that AM BM going in the morning, it kind of messes up your whole day.
Yeah. Well, now I'm reading the lyrics, and they could, if you gotta go really bad, the siren scream wanting attention. Like, look, dude, we got to get
Time to take heed and change direction, my friend. You've got to beeline it for the bathroom.
Yes. Yeah.
Take stock and make omissions. You gotta cut right to the chase.
Yeah.
Can you make it? Can you make it to the truck stop, or are you going to have to use that container that's been in the back of your car for the last 2 days? Yeah, I don't know.
The crisper drawer from an old fridge.
There you go.
Hey, it happens.
You never know. Literally. It literally does
I've got
happen.
stories. We could do a whole podcast about
I'm sure.
my evacuations in the truck.
God. We just went down a terrible road.
But anyway,
I love that,
the song
kind
itself.
Yeah, I love that. That lick that's kind of like a, what is it? Kind of like a pre-chorus, maybe?
Yeah.
Because the arrangement of this song is pretty awesome and weird. But he does that. What is it? Something about waiting for a diamond or something. Sure to wash your way. Yeah. And it's see, all that weird shit is so Matt Cameron.
Yeah.
This total Soundgarden-ish Matt Cameron world right here.
Yeah. Well, and he's like, there's a snare beat. He hits the snare like 3 times, but then doesn't on the 4th. If that makes sense. I wish I could.
I should have figured out the time signature, but it's something weird, like it's in 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not in 7, but it's something like that. I should have sat down and tried to written that out or something. Nerd alert. Oh, and another cool bridge, another cool kind of like down bridge before they ramp back up into that.
Yeah.
Weird. It's such a weird chorus.
Yeah.
Vocally.
Yeah. Yeah, his voice is pretty high when he's singing that word.
It's almost like just this atonal, high-pitched thing. I don't know. It's really kind of nerve-wracking. I love this song, but there is definitely times where it's like, oh, I can't do this right now. You know, like if I'm already a little like tweaked or something.
Right, yeah.
Just anxiety-wise, it's like, oh, I got to moving on to light years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is one that was pretty collaborative, it looks like, as far as songwriting. Light Years is. I love this song.
Yeah, I do too.
And it was contains a lyric that, was it Lundy? Who used this lyric in their email?
Lundy did. He's, thinking about Bagel.
That's right, yep.
In his email.
So I guess, Eddie wrote the lyrics, but this was kind of all worked on by Stone, Mike, and Eddie as far as music goes.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I mean, but it goes back to what I was saying, like, this is, essentially a ballad, a rock ballad. But it's got that weird, comfortable, garagey vibe to it, especially the drums. The drums are kind of loud, I guess. That bass drum is pretty loud.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just another example of how this album sounds different than just your standard rock album. Right.
Well, and it was, the Pink Pop show, it was Pink Pop, wasn't it? When they played this song, it was one of the Pink Pops, I believe.
2000?
I could be wrong. It might have been 2000.
I think it was 06.
06? Okay. He talks about a friend of theirs, Diane, that worked at, I think it was Sony Music. I don't know what happened to her or how she passed or whatever, but he definitely kind of referenced this song as possibly being about her. Which makes more sense with the don't seem fair, today just disappeared, your light's reflected from afar, but we were but stones, your light made us stars. So I don't know, I might try and look into that backstory a little bit more. But I also read, I don't know if it was on Wikipedia or interview or something, where they had started working on this song and it was a little too Given to Fly sounding, so they had to kind of start reworking the song, and they kind of slowed it down and changed some stuff up, and that's how it became Light Years. But originally it sounded kind of like Mike made it sound like they were almost like ripping themselves off, right? Originally, from Given to Fly. So yeah, I mean, this has always been one of my favorite tracks on this record. This is like, like I said, Evacuation sometimes can be a little unnerving for me depending on my mood. Even though I love the song, but I never want to skip this song for any reason. I just love that. I love that big booming bass drum. And the lyrics. I mean, the lyrics are just. It's hard to explain. It's not like a sad song about someone that died.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's more. I don't know what the word is. It's not like I want to just sit down and cry. Like, this song reminds me, when I listen to this song, I associate it with one of my best friends that was killed by a drunk driver a few years ago.
Right.
But it doesn't make me like break down and cry thinking about him. It just makes me that we were but stones, you light made of stars. Like, that line, like, I think about him, like, because
Sure.
he was the kind of dude that was just like the nicest guy to everybody. Like, everybody liked this guy. He's one of those guys, like, everybody knew him. You know what I mean? And knew his father. And with my job, I run into a lot of different people, and everybody knew him and liked him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And I just think of, like, that's the kind of dude he was. Like, he would... he'd make you like a better person just by knowing him. You know what I mean? So
dude, I have a similar friend, or it sounds like the same kind of thing that this song reminds me of, a friend that passed away years ago. God, holy shit, it's probably been like 6 years now or something like that, but it doesn't seem that long ago. But, you know, it's been long enough too where there's still melancholy to it, but it's just like the song, but there is this kind of like hopeful thread to it.
Right.
Or kind of remembering something, or someone that was a really beautiful kind of presence, that you don't leave it just totally in despair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I love this song. Let's see. Nothing as It Seems. So let's talk about this one. This is a interesting one for me. I love the music. I love the vibe. This is Jeff for music and for lyrics.
Yeah, which you can tell it's a Jeff lyrically.
It's a pretty bad lyric.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I'm just saying. I mean, he's definitely a different cat when it comes to lyrics versus Eddie, and
that's sure.
You could really pick out his songs. That's all I meant.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, hearing Eddie sing it, you know, I remember the first time, because this was a single, I believe.
It was,
which is so fucking weird.
Yeah, it was the first single before the record came out.
Fucking bummer.
Yeah,
single.
Man, I was like, what? Like, come on. Like, why?
I don't mean bummer that it was a single, just it's kind of a bummer song for a single. You know what I mean? I liked the song, and then I started paying more attention to the lyric, and it's not the worst lyric in the world, I guess.
Right.
But just some of it just seemed like kind of like, I don't know, stoner, like trying to write poetry,
right?
Kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
that. Well, that's the thing. I mean, Eddie tells like stories, but Jeff is always trying to be like a poet, like
he's
just
a little more
putting
esoteric
words together. Yeah.
I don't know. Saving up a sunny day, something maybe two-tone. Anything of his own, a chip off the cornerstone. Who's kidding, rainy day, one-way ticket headstone. Yeah, I'm like, and then we're going to rhyme headstone with megaphone.
Stone with stone.
Or methadone with baritone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like, if I don't think about it and I just listen to the song, Mike's fucking killing it with, you know, his crazy pedals that he was using with Chad and everything, and ways of recording those electric guitars. And but if I really pay attention to the lyric a little bit too much, I get kind of bummed out. But
I'll just put it out there. I don't like this song.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't like this song.
I never have. The only time I can appreciate it is, and I don't think I've ever seen them do this live. I'd have to look, but I've seen like in Pearl Jam 20 or on YouTube, Mike killing this. Then I can appreciate it because I can see Mike playing the song and the passion that he has for it.
Yeah, sure.
That's pretty cool. But besides that, this is a song that this is one I do skip. I
definitely don't
can't
skip
get into it.
I just try not to pay attention to the lyrics.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that chromatic walk down bridge.
Yeah.
That's cool as shit.
Yeah.
Again, where they're doing the opposite of what we were talking about earlier, like these really heavy up songs, and then they bring in this like down chorus to kind of give you a little bit of a palate cleanser before you ramp back into the song, whereas this one's opposite. It's all vibe until it gets into that bridge and then that instrumental section, and then they drop back out again. Just the use of the dynamics there is pretty cool.
And I thought it was funny when I've heard people compare this to like a Pink Floyd song. And what's funny is like I hate Pink Floyd.
Oh God.
I don't know if I've told you that before. I hate them. And so I don't listen to much of their stuff. So when I heard this song for the first time, I didn't put it together that it sounds like Pink Floyd. I just knew I didn't like it.
Right.
Then when I heard the Pink Floyd comparison, I'm like, well, yeah, there you go. That's why I don't like it. If it sounds like that, then yeah, of course I don't like it.
Oh God. God, we're just gonna find out about all. See, I think it's probably even though, because you've told me about some bands that you really like that I'm like, meh.
Yeah, I know, dude. I don't know. I guess I just like certain bands, and I'm hugely into them, but they are not the same types of bands.
No, you're all over the place.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. You're a hard man to pin down there, Brad B. All right, Thin Air. I love this song. Please tell me you like this song.
Okay, cool. Dude, I love it.
All right, and this is cool because this is Stone music and lyrics. But he didn't sing it.
Yeah, well,
Eddie sang it.
Yeah.
I don't know, and it kind of makes sense that it's Stone lyrics too, because these are closer to being kind of sentimental lyrics, which Eddie doesn't really partake in that often. I mean, he does from time to time, but you know, there's not too many times when you're going to hear Eddie write opening lines like, "There's a light when my baby's in my arms."
It's such a happy song, like a campfire song, you know?
Yeah, but then there's stuff like, I think that's one of the things that saves it for me, and kudos to Stone for this, because those first two lines, you're kind of like, man, is this going to be a super, like I said, kind of like overly sentimental song? But then that third line is, hesitate when I feel I may do harm to her, which is pretty dark, or at least the way I am taking it is. Yeah. I don't know. It's a cool song. It reminds me of, there's something about it that kind of reminds me of like a, There He Goes kind of vibe to it. I don't know. It's the acoustic guitar and the.
This song always just reminds me of my wife, because when this album came out, I think we had been married for like a year, maybe 2 years.
That's cool.
So, I don't know. That's why I just think it's kind of like one of the rare, happy, upbeat Pearl Jam songs.
Well, and it makes sense too. There's that one line that, how to be happy and true is the quest we're taking on together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's sweet. That's real sweet. Those
Love you, baby.
Those are some sweet words, Stone. Let's see. All right, Insignificance. I fucking love this song.
Yeah. Yeah, this song fucking rocks. And
it's just badass start to finish.
Yeah. It's just, and it's on the album. If you listen to the whole album, it comes in after we've had some slow ones. So it's like, now we're back to rocking out, you know?
Yeah. Which is interesting. Like, it just goes to show, you and I were talking on the phone yesterday when I was driving back into town. Yeah. And I mentioned Riot Act, and I was listening to it on the drive, and I realized, like, oh, there's all these great, like, up-tempo. First of all, there's like fucking 15 songs on that record. There's a lot of songs on this record too. But it's like they pushed all of the kind of rockers or upbeat stuff towards the end. And it's like, man, if you'd kind of like spread those out within the record, it would probably change my feelings about that record.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I mean, I really do like that record. It's not that I don't like it, but it might move farther up my list if there's a little bit more dynamism to the track list, which I think they did a good job of that on this record. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know, man. I don't. Just that. That's just so fucking badass.
Yeah, the drum beat on this song is just fucking awesome.
And the chord progression that kind of matches. I mean, again, this is Eddie on lyrics and melody and music. That kind of like descending guitar chord structure underneath the bombs dropping down part. It's instilled to want to live, the way he sings that part. It's just all fucking cool, man. Like, there's no weird part of the song where it's like, oh, why'd they do that? It's just kicks ass.
Yeah.
Got the jukebox reference. He seems like he can't get throughout, and I don't mean this in a bad way, he can't get through a record without making some sort of reference to like vinyl,
right, records and
jukebox, something. You know what I mean?
I wonder what V3 is.
I read that. Oh man, I should have written that down.
Did it come up somewhere?
Yeah, he talked about it somewhere. It was God, I'm probably totally wrong, and we're gonna get tons of emails. But it was something like, it's like a Neil Young song or something like that.
Was that the actual jukebox selection?
Yeah.
Okay, so probably like on some bar he liked to go to, and that was it?
Maybe something like that. There is a story, and I forgot to look it up, and I'm the worst, and so everyone. I'll quit the show. Brad will just do the show by himself. That's fine. Yeah, man. I love this song. I love the way it sounds. Yeah. The way it's recorded.
And it's political.
Sure. Yeah.
But I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, so I'm okay with it. Because like I hate politics, and I hate when. I just hate politics.
Okay.
So.
Noted.
But to read these lyrics, they could be about anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sure. And I like that they're, what's the word for that? When they can mean anything. Vague. Yeah, vague.
Well, you see, Brad, there's bombs, and they're dropping down. They're overhead. They're underground. It's instilled to want to live. I'm going to read all the lyrics like that. No, I'm not. I'm really not.
Please.
That's not even Bubba, Brad. That's like...
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
It's like Bubba's, I don't know, gay cousin from Arkansas. You know?
Yeah.
All right, Of the Girl. It's another one I fucking love. I love this song. And this is Stone, man. All Stone. I think, right?
Yes.
He wrote the lyrics too, right?
Yeah, he did.
Man, the band really stepped up to the plate for Eddie's writer's block on this one, man. And it's a good record.
Yeah. I mean, this song, you could tell me, but I think, does this song... is this like the best representation of Tchad, like what he brought to the studio? Because this song sounds, the sound of it is just crazy.
This is fucking incredible. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's like, I know that he used the binaural thing for, I believe, the acoustic guitars on this song. Mm-hmm. I think I was referencing ways to record electric guitars. I think at the very least, because you could tell by listening to it, well, I guess if you do recording, you can tell, but that Mike's electric guitar that's going on, with those licks going on. It's like, you know, whether it's his Marshall or like a Fender Twin or something in one room fucking cranked, and then it sounds like they opened a door to that room and stuck a mic down the end of a hallway and picked up the amp that way.
Because the sound,
it sounds like you're listening through a wall or something.
Yeah, it's coming from all over, like ethereal. Is that a good word?
Ethereal, yeah.
Ethereal. I mean, the guitar just sounds like it's coming from everywhere, and I'm just listening to it on a little shitty stereo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From like Walmart. And then the bass is so loud.
It is loud. You're right.
But it works. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen this song live, but I think it'd be a cool opener.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, maybe not release level or something like that, but it'd be a really cool way to see this song live as an opener.
I just like how slow it is, and then it kind of picks up for the chorus, and then just drops right back off the face of the earth back to that slow,
I know, man,
kind of just steady song. You know,
I think again that's one of the things, like as a producer, that I feel like Tchad probably brought to the table was not just something different sonically for the band, but I think one of the things that I've always liked about him as a producer and a mixer is that he's really keen on dynamics within songs. You know, and kind of, you know, either doing fake build-ups that you think it's about to go somewhere crazy and then it just kind of dies off, or it keeps your ear kind of engaged the whole time, you know. I love that dude. I would love to. He's one of those mixers, producers that if I could have like 30 minutes to just sit down with him, you know what I mean, and like pick his brain for a minute, it'd be amazing.
Does he live in Nashville?
No, he lives in like Wales.
Really?
Once he had enough money,
he's like, I'm out of here.
He's like, I'm out.
Just in doing research, I saw that he was recording in Nashville with Sheryl Crow like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that makes total sense. He records with fucking everybody.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
He's great, man.
Yeah.
All right, Grievance.
Yes.
I'm a pretty big fan of this song.
Yeah, this song. this and see, this is the only thing. The one issue I'd have with how they sequenced the album is that I think Of the Girl should have been before Insignificance. So it would have been Nothing As It Seems, Thin Air, Of the Girl, then Insignificance, and then Grievance. Because
that's a whole lot of slow altogether, though, man.
Yeah. Well, then do Of the Girl after Grievance.
Yeah.
I mean, just Of the Girl breaks up Insignificance and Grievance, where I think those two should have been
back
right
to back.
next to each. Yeah, because they're both just like rockers, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, the song itself is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool that it's there's aspects of this song again where it's cool that it's Eddie on music and lyrics, because I feel like there's something kind of Matt Cameron-y about this song too, like maybe the chorus that that kind of weird rhythmical kind of thing, but he adds kind of like the punk to it, you know?
Right.
Eddie does. Yeah, I don't get too deep with this song or anything. I just love it when it comes on. Yeah. You know, it's one of those songs that I haven't thought too much about.
And I want to say at the time when they were touring this album, they played this as like not the opening song, but the song after the slow opener. I think they would play this a lot to open the show, which is
once the slow jams were done.
Right? Yeah. And it's a cool song to start with.
Hell yeah,
Just,
man.
you know.
I'd love to see this song live.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
God,
I don't really have anything to say about it, but
yeah, it's just a great song.
we got some classic Stone coming up next, I think, anyway, with Rival.
Yeah.
Just those weird fucking chords, man. And another, again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Stone wrote the music and the lyrics for this one too.
Yes. I'm pretty sure you're right.
And one of the things that I like about this too that Tchad did, not on every song, but a few of the songs, I think Breaker Fall, Rival, I feel like there might be one more. Maybe it's just those two. But I love the kind of shitty lo-fi octave lower vocal that Eddie doubles with his normal vocal on those two songs.
Yeah.
I love the way that sounds, like especially if you have like headphones on or something, you can hear that octave lower, that low vocal in there that sounds kind of distorted and fucked with or whatever, but it's a really cool vibe on this record, I think.
Oh, especially on this song.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. I mean, I like this song. I don't like necessarily seek it out as much as some of the other ones on this record. But it's cool, and I think it's another example of like, man, that was loud. What was that? What did you just do?
I just turned a page in my notebook.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Are you writing on papyrus?
Palm leaves.
Palm leaves, cool. All right. I don't remember what I was going to say now.
Just the lo-fi. You said you don't love this song, like you don't seek it out, but when it does come on, you'll listen to it.
Oh yeah, no, I love the song. It's just not like, you know, I would seek out like, oh, I want to listen to Insignificance, or I want to listen to Of the Girl or something.
Yeah.
I don't
It's kinda
necessarily do that as often with this song, but it's cool.
You forget how awesome it's cool. It's like one of those songs like, oh yeah, you know, as soon as that
fucking great.
It starts up, you're like, oh shit, this song is awesome. I forgot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But because it is very different sounding for them, you know? Like you said, those chords, that drum beat, and Eddie's vocals are just like raw, you know?
Yeah. When he gets some of those higher notes, man, it sounds so kick-ass.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially with those octave lower vocals underneath it. And I think that's what I was going to say. This is another good example of like, you know, kind of a testament to how good of a fucking band they are, and that it's not just an Eddie Vedder show.
Yeah.
Them stepping up to the plate, like, with all the songwriting, you know. So many of these songs were just Stone on his own, or just Jeff on his own, and bringing demos of the band and stuff like that, and then they kind of pearl jammed the songs, you know. Especially if you listen to the demo of, like, Nothing As It Seems, you know.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It makes so much sense. It's just like that he hands in the chord progressions to these guys, and Mike does Mike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Stone's playing that acoustic part, and it's cool, man. This is another good example of that, I feel like. What do we have next? Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.
Jeff. Well, you can totally hear that this is Jeff.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool groove.
This is another one that's got that like ethereal sound to it, you know?
Yeah. Ethereal.
Yeah, ethereal. I have a hard time with this song, and not just on a personal level. Like these lyrics just like get right to like my deepest, darkest like fear of just living every day by routine, and not you know, just like, is this how I was supposed to grow up and live? You know what I mean? Like it's fucking it hits home so fucking hard that like I can't even listen to it, because every line is like just like my life has passed me by while I was at work,
Oh, God. Dude, that's fucking bleak. I just got really sad inside. I mean, your life has totally not passed you by, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, I think there is something to do that where it's like, I mean, I deal with that in a different way, I guess, but like for me, it is not lost on me how lucky I am to not only know what I love, like what what I'm passionate about, but also have been fortunate enough to make a living doing it. Yeah. And sometimes I do really well and sometimes I'm freaking the fuck out.
Right.
Yeah. As far as work, because it also means that you're a self-employed person and that gets, that can get kind of scary, but for me, it's the reason why that kind of stress is worth it to me. Like it's worth it to like maybe not see anything on the calendar for next month and just have to like not freak out and just because at least I'm doing what I love to do. Whereas for me, the times I've tried to quit music and have quote unquote normal jobs, and I don't know what the fuck that is supposed to mean, but I feel like I'm dying. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm kind of drowning in slow motion, but that's something that's on my mind a lot, actually.
Yeah.
So I get it. I don't know that maybe I just haven't really thought too much about this song because I never really. Now it seems completely obvious what it's about, but
yeah. And dude, don't get me wrong. I know I've got it way better than a lot of people.
Oh, sure. I know what you mean.
I'm lucky and I have a lot of good things in my life. But at the same time, when I think, when I listen to this song or read these lyrics, it's like, whoa, like I don't know. Yeah. It just hits home like more than any of their other songs. This shit
cuts to the quick.
Yeah, dude. And then how this at the end, he waves goodbye to himself. I'll see you on the other side. Mm-hmm. Like, holy shit. Like, I just feel like I'm going to be 90 years old, like waving at myself as a teenager. Like, what the fuck did you do?
Oh my God. Ugh.
Sorry.
Can we talk about Soon Forget now? I'm just kidding.
Yes, can we please?
I appreciate.
No, dude, let's move
seriously,
on.
I do just want to say I appreciate, I don't know, your candid thoughts on that song because
I don't know.
I totally get it, man.
Maybe I shouldn't
I'm with you.
Say that kind of stuff.
No, you totally should because everyone fucking feels that way at some point.
Yeah.
Or every day or whatever, Yeah. I think you're lying to yourself if you don't.
The song came out 17 years ago and I still feel that way. You know what I mean? So it's like, holy shit, if I felt that way 17 years ago and I didn't do anything about it and nothing changed, I don't know. Okay, Soon Forget.
Well, I'm sorry. I just my heart hurts.
I'm sorry.
Just kidding.
You cut all this out.
No, not at all. This is the stuff, man. Let's see. All right, Soon Forget.
But hey.
Oh God, you always do this to me.
No, we're doing this the last 2 months. I mean, I've wanted to do like a radio show since I was a kid, and
now you got something even better, a podcast. Yeah. I'm being serious, actually.
No, I am too.
Because I do a radio show and it's fun, but you can't say whatever the fuck you want to say like you can on here.
Yeah, I understand that. But I'm just saying. See, now you just ruined it. I was trying to say something positive, and now I'm like, oh, fuck it. Maybe it's not that great. I'm trying to say something positive, and you're like, oh, radio's not that great. I do. Well, no,
what I'm saying is that you're doing even better than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you are co-owner in this thing, and we get to make it what we want it to be, and we don't have bosses. We don't have you know, if anything, our only bosses are the people that listen to this show in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because that's who the show is for, is people like us.
Right.
You know, I think that's pretty fucking special, and you can't do that kind of stuff on radio. You know?
Yeah. I wonder if I did get into radio way back when, if it would have been like an eye opener for the worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so, because my buddy
I know it would have been, because knowing now what I know now, just from listening so much and like researching it so much, like it's not what I thought it was when I was 10.
Well, and now it's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So ukulele time.
Yay. Yeah, I'm good. This is one I skip.
Yeah, I'm really glad that it got him out of writer's block. But it's not a bad song. It's just I don't know. This song is like, to me, how you feel about Stone singing Mankind. Like, this is not a Pearl Jam song. This is a straight up Eddie Vedder solo song. So why is it even under the umbrella of a Pearl Jam song? Well, I will say that I agree with you, but I will simultaneously kind of stand up for it. Because if you look at the B-sides or the outtakes from this record, even just the fact that Fatal is not on this record, but Soon Forget is, kind of bums me out, because I think Fatal is such a good fucking song.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a few other songs that didn't make it on this record that I think are either great or really good or better than Soon Forget. But I also think if this is the song that got him out of the writer's block for this record, I totally get why it's part of the record.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because...
You know...
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh my God, are you dying?
Yeah. It's, I'm so emotional right now. No, but the one thing I do like about the song is the lyrics are pretty funny.
Yeah.
You know, they're the subject matter is serious, but the lyrics are pretty funny.
Right.
You know?
Sure.
He thinks he'll get the girl, he'll only get the mechanic. Like that's you know, that's funny. You know?
He's lying dead clutching Benjamins.
Yeah, Benjamins. That's hilarious that he used the term Benjamins.
Yeah, no.
Like a rap star.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely think there's value to the song. It's just not something I want to listen to a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on. Parting Ways, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool song, man. I think it's one of those cool I like the little sitar sounding guitar playing the melody. Ba-da. I don't know. What do you think about it?
I like this song, and this is another ethereal sounding song.
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
You did.
I said it right?
Way to go, bud.
But it does. It has that like giant sound that's like over your head and all around you.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's got like mallets on the toms, and it's very kind of like just vibey and orchestral almost, you know?
I was going to say, is there violins? What is that? There's some sort of stringed instrument kind of in the background.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. There's a bunch of kind of like lush layered stuff.
Right.
Which, again, I think, hopefully it wasn't a point of contention to the fact that the band wanted Brendan to remix more of the aggressive songs, but I think the songs like Of the Girl, Parting Ways, Thin Air, stuff like that it sounds like Chad probably produced and mixed, is some of the most special parts of this record, because you don't really get the same kind of treatment for some of these types of songs as you do on the rest of the records. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like stuff like Indifference I love that song, you know?
Yeah.
But how cool would it have been to hear a version that Tchad Blake produced and mixed? You know, I think that would have been really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. That performance that's on Versus is fucking magical. I'm not saying I would want to get rid of that version, but just hearing the way he did some of the more lush kind of stuff on this record, it'd be interesting to hear his take on some of their other songs. I love this song, man. I think it's a great closer to the record. I love it when they close records like this. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like a goodbye.
Yeah,
you know, that's how I always took it. It's like a goodbye to the fans. I don't know. I like when they do that. They've done it a couple times with the final song almost being like they're saying goodbye.
Right.
Like totally. literally saying goodbye.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah, man. That's all I got, man. I fucking love this record, dude.
I do too. I really do. It's I don't say this in a bad way, but it's got that like rough, unpolished sound.
Yep.
That none of the other albums do, you know?
Well, I think I don't know. I think one of the things that I love about them is that there's something rough and unpolished about let's say everything except for, I think Backspacer and Avocado are their most polished records.
Right.
But I think the rest of them are all polished and raw in their own ways.
Well, yeah, maybe it's a different kind of unpolished.
Well, except for 10. 10 is pretty polished, but
yeah.
But I mean, Versus, Vitology, definitely No Code, definitely Yield. I mean, those are some pretty live sounding records.
Yeah,
you know?
But they don't have the ethereal sound.
No, they don't.
That this one does.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, sure.
Did I say it right?
The word for the day is ethereal. Say it with me.
Yeah.
Ethereal.
Ethereal. Can you go back and drop in when I said it wrong? Can you just fix it?
No. What I'm gonna do is drop in what I just did. Ethereal. Say it again. Ethereal. Does that song feel ethereal to you? Is a pig's ass pork? Does a bear shit in the woods? My favorite one is does a cat have climbing gear? I like that one. I like that, and is a pig's ass pork. I think those are my favorite ones.
As a pig's ass, I don't think I've heard either one of those.
Oh yeah?
Is that that's a Alabama thing?
I'm from the South, bro.
Yeah, I know.
I
know. I can tell.
Man, did you just come down on Saturday and we'll just do some fishing? Because it's not fishing, it's fishing. We'll just go out there on the canoe, grab some cold beers, do some fishing, man. Just get us some lunch.
Get you a cold drink.
A cold beer. Get you a cold beer. Anyway, I'm done. I've completely sweated through my shirt.
Mm-hmm. Oh, are you hot in there?
Yeah, like I was telling you earlier, we have like climate controlled studio, and my room is in this weird hell zone where like today the outside is it's not cold by any means outside, but it's just cool enough where I guess the system thinks we need heat. And my room is the one that gets the most heat during the winter and the most AC during the summer, which means I have to dress on the way to work for winter and then be able to shed clothes like it's summer because it's hot as fuck in my little B room.
Well, what?
Or I have to wear like shorts in a t-shirt for summer, but then have like snow gear with me for my room because it's
I
fucking
would love
freezing.
it. I'd be in there in a t-shirt and shorts.
Dude, I'd much rather be cold, but it gets pretty
bad.
fucking cold.
What do you use that room for on a regular basis?
This is the room that's for like TV, film, commercial, like voiceover work. So I'm in this little booth where voice talent will come in and read scripts, or we'll do like ADR for a movie.
Yeah, so don't those, I mean, aren't those people like more like professional type people that come in there?
Yeah.
So wouldn't you want them to be comfortable?
Well, it depends. If they're not in here, like we've been talking for fucking 2 hours. Like if there's that long of a session, then we will stick them in our A room, which is where I do my music production work.
Okay, I got you.
But if it's like a quick like overdub for a revision on a script, or just like a 30-second commercial or whatever, then they'll just pop into this room.
Barry Manilow comes in to do a jingle.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. Barry Manilow. We had him in here a lot.
Yeah.
Bette Midler.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Alan Thicke back in the day.
The guys from The Simpsons.
All the guys from The Simpsons. Yeah. I love how specific you were about the voice talent on that.
Yeah.
All the guys from The Simpsons. Even though it's a female that does Bart's voice.
Well, no, I'm thinking about the bass player from Spinal Tap. He does Harry Shearer.
He's awesome.
He does a bunch of voices on that show.
Dude, it never fails. We go off on the weirdest fucking tangents at the end of every one of our episodes. Like, this episode should have been done like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm not taking it out, though.
No, leave it in.
All right, so seriously, tell us what you think about binaural. I'm sure that you guys will. We always get most of our feedback hits after we do record episodes. So again, our email is singlepodcasttheory@gmail.com. Instagram is @singlepodcasttheory. Twitter is @PearlJamPodcast. And then search us on YouTube and Facebook. You got anything else?
That's it.
All right.
Keep on rocking in the free world.
Oh, is that going to be? Is that a part of the audition for our closing line?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
stay on the walk the long road. Everyone walks the long road.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Peace out. We're still alive.
We're parting ways until next week.
Don't go. Ooh, I like that one.
See what I did there?
Yeah. Do go on me? No, don't go on me. Like, don't go. No, that don't work.
No. Turn.
Do
choke,
go.
Oh God. Oh man, I don't know. We might have to really explore this parting ways thing. We just gave you guys a bunch of just off the top of our head examples. Why don't you go ahead and send us your top 5 for sign off lines, and we'll keep working on it. But until next week, I'm Brad Lyons.
And I'm Brad Blazek.
You've been listening to Single Podcast Theory. Peace.
Pearl Jam.
I love you. Bye.
What?
Huh? What?
What'd you say?
Okay, I'm done.
I died and you just I died and you watched. I died and you walked by and said no. I'm dead.
That was hot. Fuck yeah. Woo!